view, and C means controller. So we have seen object, fields, and other data related, data storage related things. So that comes under the model part. And page layouts, object tabs, application, uh, menu. So all these comes under view part of application. Okay, how you can access, how to interact with your data. Okay, so all those things. And coming to the controller part, we already seen about validation rules. So that means restricting or imposing your rules upon, so your data, the application that you have designed. So that means by controlling, applying the rules, you are controlling the data flow on your application. So workflow rules also the controlling part of MVC architecture. So two types of workflow rules. One is immediate workflow rule. And second one is time dependent workflow rules. Okay. So by using these two different types of workflow rules, we can perform 4 actions. So that we call as workflow actions. First one is assigning tasks. Second one is field update. Third one, sending the email alert. Fourth one is outbound message. Okay, so these 4 kinds of actions you can perform by creating immediate workflow rule or time dependent workflow. Okay. Let's see here. Whenever the control enters into workflow, assume that this is the area where taking initiation for this workflow to be taken place. So this is first condition to initiate the workflow rule, that is evaluation criteria. And then If the evaluation criteria is met, then it will enter into another condition checking. So that is rule criteria. Okay. So if this also met, then only it will trigger workflow. So total 2 conditions it will check. Workflow actions. Will trigger. Okay. So if the rule criteria is not met, and also evaluation criteria is not met. So in these 2 cases, workflow will be not triggered. Workflow rules. Not initiated at all. Okay. So the first condition for workflow to be triggered, workflow actions to be triggered, first evaluation criteria needs to be met. Okay. So we have 3 different kinds of evaluation criteria. So let's see here. Workflow evaluation criteria. One is record is created. Okay. So every time a record is created on source object, and it will consider it as a evaluation criteria met. So based upon that option. And a record is created, and every time edited. Okay. And third option is record is created and edited, and anytime edited to subsequently meet criteria. Meet rule criteria. Okay. So these are the 3 options. And once after this is this criteria is met, evaluation criteria met, it will go and check the rule criteria of the workflow. So here also two options are there. One, you can say criteria is met. Second one is formula evaluates true. Okay. Let's see here. Go to setup, path to create the workflow rule. Setup, under build, expand, create. And click on workflows, rules, and approvals. And then click on workflow rules. And click on new workflow, new button. Okay. Select the object first on which you want to create workflow rules. So workflow rules are object bound. Okay. So we have created for practice purpose. So institution, CC institution, right?
Yes.
Okay. So CC institution is our application. So on instructors object, I'm going to create new workflow rule. Let us have the scenario here. So when I click on new, when the user every time creates a taking the evaluation criteria that every time new instructor record is being created, and then so here date of birth is there. Select country. Okay. So select country. I will take the criteria, rule criteria as select country equal to US. Okay. And then if this is the value, so automatically this field to be updated to India. Okay, that is the condition. So by that time performing field update. Okay, one of the 4 workflow actions: task, field update, email alert, and then 4th one is outbound message. Okay, so to execute outbound message, so that is having some dependency, other dependency. So we need to set endpoint URL. Okay, so for that integration needed with other supportable application, okay, or website. So outbound messages we cannot check here. Other than that, you can see field update, sending email alerts, as well as assigning the task, okay, to other users. So whenever some record is created or edited, or anytime edited to meet the rule criteria, okay. So those are three evaluation criteria. So here my scenario is whenever a record is created newly on instructor object and I'm taking the condition select country equal to US, okay, if that is met, and this field automatically needs to update it whenever click on save, so that value to be updated to India, okay. So that is the case here. Let's see how to do this. So here evaluation criteria is record is created and the rule criteria is select country value equal to US, okay. So what to be done? Workflow actions. Select country equal to India needs to set. That means field update we are performing. And this also immediate action. This should be immediate action. So here workflow actions are two types: immediate actions, time-dependent actions. Time-dependent actions means after 1 hour, after 1 day, like some time frame we will design. So whenever this record is created from that date, we can set the time frame, and then after the actions will be executed. So this should be immediate action. Okay, that is my condition. So here for that I'm selecting instructor, and rule name, workflow rule, and instructor object. Okay, optional description about the rule, and here evaluation criteria. So that is on which case this needs to be evaluated. So first option, record is created. Okay. Second one, record is created and every time edited. And third option, every time, anytime edited to subsequently meet criteria. Okay. So that is what. Here I'm selecting, here you can see the rule criteria. So first option is criteria is met. So following criteria, whatever the equation you have defined below, so that needs to be met. The first option is. Okay. Select country equals US. So this is the criteria that needs to be met, that needs to be true. So whenever a record is being created, then only this will execute the workflow actions. So in the next step, we can set the workflow actions. So here we have the other option, for needs to true. You can design the formula calculation part, and that needs to be true. That should give the output true value. Okay. So first option, select country equals to US. Click on save on new. And here add the workflow actions. So in the immediate workflow actions section, you need to add the action here. Okay, as per our scenario we have taken. So otherwise you can add the time dependent workflow actions, time frame, then after that you can attach the workflow actions to that time frame. Let's see how to add the time frame. So just select how many hours or days. See here, hours or dates. Okay, dates. And then before or after. Okay. And here we have the rule trigger date, all the available date fields. All the available date fields. So these two are common, rule trigger date and record created date and record modified date are common. Okay. And then if you have any other date fields on the record, so that will be also available here. DOB is the date field that we have created on the instructor object. So other than these three, rule trigger date, record created date, record last modified date. Okay. Other than that, so this also getting available here. Okay. So normally we'll select like this, record created date, from the record created date after 1 day. Okay, like that. So if you have other dates also, like due date, some other dates on the record form, you can select that one, and then so before events also you can do. Okay, like we have the employee offer letter. Okay, so offer letter will be released 1 month before or 2 months before. So based on the selection procedure they will follow. So they will mention that field also available. So joining date field. So by assume that DOB is the joining date of the employee into the organization, and so before 4 days or 3 days, some follow-up email needs to be sent to the employee who is going to join after 3 days. Okay. So like by attaching some travel tickets, okay, or any other instructions to reach the office, reach the location. Like that, some follow-up email needs to be sent. So before employee is going to join, okay, before 3 days left. So like that, you can take the time trigger, and then as like immediate workflow actions are adding, so same way you can add the time dependent actions. Okay. See here, so click on add workflow action and select new field update. Total 4 different types of workflow actions. and here so four different actions we have. So click on field update. So provide some name to identify this one. Are you able to see my screen? Are facing any difficulty?
I can see it, Srinivas.
Okay. So because it is giving some error here, so that's why. So test field update. On instructor object. Select a country. This field value needs to be set India. So here this is a pick list field. Here you can see the field data type pick list. So pick list field. Okay. Select the specific value. Okay, one immediate workflow action updated, added. Click on done and then you need to manually activate this workflow. So then only it will get activated. And then, so go to instructor. Provide the details like test record. Select country. Take it. US I'm selecting. And reading books. So click on save. Okay. Select country becomes India here. If I edited this one to US, only US, not India. So because we haven't selected the second option, so only for record create at the time creating the record only we have taken into consideration, but not every time. Okay. Let's see. Let me take another record and which select country value other than US. China I'm taking. China only. Why? Because evaluation criteria met for this record workflow rule, but not the rule criteria. See here on the paint. So evaluation criteria met, it enter into rule criteria, and rule criteria met, it enter into workflow actions triggering. But here in this case, condition is select country needs to be US to meet this rule criteria. But we have selected China, so which is not triggered any workflow actions. Okay, so that is one. And in the above case also, so to meet the evaluation criteria, record needs to be created newly, but we have edited. So that's why rule is not triggered. It doesn't enter into the rule criteria. Okay, so that is what. And let us, if you want to add more actions under the workflow rule, so first deactivate the workflow rule and then click on edit. Click on edit here, okay, not here. So this opens the properties. So like name you can change, okay, all those settings. So here to add the workflow actions, so click on edit and then add another workflow action. Click new email alert. So previously, why we have created email template for this reason. So here, this is required field to select email template while setting the email alert on workflow rules. Okay. So here we will select the email template related to instructor object. We have created, right? Prashant, is this email template created based in instructor object or any other object?
Instructor, right?
Instructor only. Let's see. I'm taking the second one. And here, email alert. Give me a minute. Okay. So here email alert name. Email alert to intimate creation of new record. Okay. So here I have selected this template where I have redefined those things like subject line I have defined there, and also body of the email. So here, users I'm selecting recipient list, email recipient type. So whether these many types of users available. Okay. So normally we will select user only or public group, role and internal subordinates. Okay, external subordinates. Or record owner, email field, if there is any email field in the record, on the record, that field. Okay, no field available here. So owner of the record. So instructor record owner. Okay. So I'm selecting two recipients. The email address there in the user record for these two users. Okay. And the email will be sent whenever this rule is triggered. And also up to 5 email addresses you can put inside here. Okay. Can you guys text your email addresses in the chat? Both of you. So emails needs to be separated with comma. Prashant, are you there? Prashant? Okay. So here, one email I have mentioned inside this one, like that 5 email addresses you can mention. So whether those may be outside, not registered with Salesforce or anything else. Okay. And here from address, what should be the from address to send these email alerts? Okay. So here user's email address you can use as the from email address or default workflow user's email address. Okay. So this also is email address is there. From that email address, emails will be sent. Or you can customize the email address. So customized email address, that means this email address first you need to create at the global level. So we have the option for that. So global email address option. So there you can create and you need to verify whether that email address is yours or not. So then it will add it to the list of email addresses, organization email addresses. Okay. And you can use this email address for the as a from email address option. Okay. So I have created one email alert on the workflow rule. And we know the condition for this rule is select country equals to US. Okay. Assigning the task is simple thing. So one task will be assigned on the record. So whenever the workflow rule triggered, so one task will be created on the details page of the record. See here. So this is the details layout of the record. So in the open activities of the record, new task will be created. Here you can see new task option. Okay. So this task I am creating at workflow rule level. Okay, and that will be created on the on triggering the workflow. So you need to first define what and that. So here we are creating a task to be created. So task assigned to which user. So here I am selecting you and subject. Subject practice workflow. Yes. And then due date from the record created date. From the record created date plus 2 days and due date for executing this task and comments, task related comments. Okay. So here status in progress priority high I'm setting. So with these details, task will be
So can you once again show what all the pick list values are there for status?
what are the
Drop down values for status. You have selected status as in progress, right? So other values?
oh, okay. You can see here. So these are the list of options. So not started, in progress, completed, waiting on someone else. Okay, default.
Okay. Completed means something called closed, right? It will not be executed.
Uh, Not like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, if it is completed also, no issue. Task will be created and completed. If you want to work on that, you can reopen the task and can be done, whatever need. Okay. So for the time being, just understand that, we are taking in progress and completed will be done by other users. Okay. So uh, who assigned this task? So that user will work on this task and, he will set the status as completed. So we are not the users setting this as completed. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. In the initially, whenever the task is assigned or created newly, okay. So we are providing instructions that so and so employee is created, and you need to assign, provide the seat for him, and also you need to provide um, other hardware, hard disk, laptop, okay. So that particular department person will check this task related to this employee record, and he will work on that and mention the status completed. So based upon by taking, okay, by taking the feedback from employee. So I have completed and communicated with the employee. So this is the status. So status will be updated to completed like that. Okay. So for that reason, we have the task option here.
Okay.
So here I have created one task and one email alert and one field update. Okay. As I said, to execute the outbound message, we need to have the, we need to know the endpoint URL. So which is not here and activate workflow rule. So every time you have done edition, modifications on the workflows, you need to check and activate it manually. So we have activated this. So create a new record based upon the existing one. And whenever I click on, so I'm taking US to match with the rule criteria and then clicking save. So new record is going to be created and 3 actions will be triggered. Okay. So those are, one is new task assignment. In the open activities, you can see new task. So with the title, this is the title, and status in progress, priority high. So these details we have set uh, before assigning new task. Okay. And here, so field update action done, select country updated to India. Okay. Even though we have selected US earlier. And one email alert sent from my email address. Okay. And with the template that I have taken. Let's see the email that I have received. Let me open. See here, this is a template. So along with this title, and for me, same time, these users. Okay. So these two users also received. And in the CC, I have used this. And this is a template. So upside, bottom side, and this is a template that we have to, okay, into consideration.
Okay.
So these details are from record. So we haven't provided anything. So by the redefined template, it has taken details from the created record. Okay. So that's all about immediate workflow rules and time-dependent workflow rules. Okay. You can see the time-dependent workflow rules. So first you need to deactivate workflow and then add some time frame and attach all these workflow actions to the time frame. Okay, you can do that easily. So only the thing is you need to attach the time frame. Okay. There is no difficulty in that. You can practice that thing. And if you have any questions, so we can discuss further. So tomorrow we'll see about. So tomorrow is Friday, right? So on Saturday and Sunday we don't have the sessions. Okay, as usual. So tomorrow we have the session. Okay.
Yeah. Sure, sir.
So tomorrow we'll see about approvals. Okay. So what is meant by approval, how to define approval rules, how to customize them, how many levels of approvals we have in Salesforce, and what is approval, what is submitter. Okay. So what are the approval actions? All those things we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Prashant?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the control architecture we are discussing about, right?
Yeah, sorry?
Yesterday you said we were talking about MEC architecture, model view and controller. We finished model view and control architecture, correct?
Yeah. It also comes under controller approvals also. Okay.
Yeah, it's like they're having a very bad network connection, so I was kind of it's in between. I'll go through and I'll ask if you have any questions. I'll go through the recording once 10 minutes. I'll ask them if you have any questions. Thank you.
Welcome. Have any questions? Minimum two direct or indirect questions will come from these workflows. Okay. So evaluation criteria, rule criteria, workflow actions, every thing related to workflows are important, and the scenarios will be asked. So what if continuous asynchronous? So what if the workflow rule is triggered And once